1967 Chicago Bears story is contained mostly in one word: defense. Many parts formed that one element. Parts like McRae and Pettibone and Dick Evey. No one escaped the Bears' bludgeon. The National Football League's most valuable player was handled recklessly by Mr. Evey and friends. This is the eye of a hurricane. Whoever said it was calm never has met Dick Butkus. Number 73, Frank Cornish, is destruction personified. Ed Obradovich is 6'3" and 225 pounds. He chases quarterbacks. He'd like to score touchdowns, too. Who wouldn't? While 67 was the year of the defense, any team with Gale Sayers has to have its moments of offensive brilliance. This 103-yard kickoff return by Sayers was the longest scoring play of any kind in Bears history. When it got down to the hardcore of winning games or of coming very close, once again it was hard-hitting defense that told the story. The 97th meeting of the National Football League's oldest rivals occurred early in the season at Green Bay. It was a typical Packers-Bears struggle. Few stars emerged. Hard-nosed, grudging, head-knocking football was what the fans saw. But if the Packers had one star, it was Jim Grabowski, who carried the ball more times than any other Packer ever in one game, and for the first time in his career, gained more than 100 yards rushing. Coach George Halas countered with his great runner, too. The inimitable Gale Sayers ended the season as the league's third leading rusher. His fluid, agile moves are matched by none. The pressure of the battle in the trenches was reflected in the secondary's perfection. Bart Starr was intercepted more times in this one game than in the entire 1966 season. This particular 35-yard interception by Richie Pettibone was disputed briefly. Our super slow-motion camera is explicit in its veracity. We can see that it was the left forearm of the intended receiver and not the ground that deflected the ball, which the alert Pettibone picked up. Pettibone's theft set up the Bears' first score. From the 22-yard line, Mac Percival makes it 10-3 Packers. The veteran Pettibone is to have one of his best years as a pro. After 9 years in the league, Richie is seldom fooled or beaten. But it wasn't a Pettibone interception that led to what was almost the Packers' undoing. Rookie Joe Taylor stopped the Green Bay assault at the Bears' 20 and returned to the 45. Everyone pulls left except flashy Jack Concannon. He keeps the drive on the move by running out of his helmet to the 21. Rarely is Gale Sayers shut out. Today would be no exception. Despite Sayers' greatness, no one man can go it alone. Number 50, Mike Pyle, demonstrates the second effort type blocking which ensures safe passage to the end zone. Bears 10, Packers 10. With only 63 seconds remaining, Don Chandler provided the margin of victory from the 46-yard line. A super scare for the super champions, but scares aren't registered in the win column. After an uncertain start, the Bears found themselves in the second half of the '67 season. They suffered through their first 7 games with only 2 victories to show for it. On November 5th in Detroit, no one would have believed it. The Bears not only looked mean and tough, they were. On this day, the Lions were high after demolishing the 49ers the week previous. Today, it was the Lions' turn to be humbled. Gale Sayers' circle of friends includes number 72, Jim Cadile. Cadile's block enabled Sayers to romp 63 yards to the Lions' 1. From there, it's just a short push for a 7-0 Bears lead. The offense is registered. Now it's time for some more defense. More defense it is. The front four rush is supplemented with the safety blitz. Benny McRae wins the race to the prize. Frustration for the Lions is the result the first time. 6 points for the Bears is the result the second time. Following the Lions' first score, Detroit made the mistake of kicking off to Gale Sayers, who waited at the 3. 97 yards and 6 points later, Detroit was doomed. The second half was barely underway when Bobby Joe Green punted for the Bears. The Lions punt receiver heard footsteps, and Charlie Brown recovered at the Lions' 24. Mac Percival towed the first of 2 field goals, and the Bears returned to Chicago with what was to be their first of 3 straight victories. The Bears returned to the friendly confines of Wrigley Field to meet the resurgent Giants. While the Giants are sometimes strangers to Chicago fans, their quarterback, Fran Tarkenton, is not. His helter-skelter, frantic antics brought back memories of his tenure with the Vikings. The Giants were off to a quick 7-0 lead, mainly on his improvisation. The arrow is on Ronnie Bull. The upending block is on the Giants' defensive end. It adds up to a nice 23-yard gain for Jack Concannon. The end around freezes the Giants' defense as Jimmy Jones sprints for 24 yards and a first down at the 17. Larry Rakestraw entered the fray and immediately spotted the elusive Ronnie Bull. Bull easily outraced the pursuing Giant linebacker, and the Bears were even at 7-all. That's Marty Amsler in the circle, and he's just too strong for number 69, Willie Young. His hard charge precipitates a Tarkenton error, and number 73, Frank Cornish, is there to pick up the pieces. Rakestraw is on target to Johnny Morris, who has just run a post pattern perfectly. The Bears have their 14th point. On a good day, some defensive backs are able to intercept 2 passes. At 6'6" and at least 270 pounds, Frank Cornish is not a defensive back, even though this is his second interception of the day. Number 29, Ronnie Bull, wipes out the linebacker. Gale Sayers scoots through the hole to the 3. From there, Rakestraw dives in for the Bears' 20th point. Gale Sayers, the superstar. He cuts, weaves, stops, and goes. He runs with power and precision. His balance is contained in his fluid style. This run set up the Bears' 27th point. This fair fan had something to cheer about. Up by 20 points, the hungry Bears weren't finished yet. Frank Cornish comes up with the ball for the 3rd time as Ed Obradovich ensures that the referee makes the right decision. Over 20 years ago, the Bears scored a touchdown on this play in a championship game against the Giants. The 97 Bingo Keep It is still in the playbook, and it still scores points. Larry Rakestraw threw 3 touchdown passes today and ran for 2 more. The Bears scored their season high in this game by demolishing the Giants 34-7. percentage of opponents' passes completed against the Bears was the lowest in the league. The Bears' interception total was the third best in the league. It all adds up to defense with desire. This Steeler error was classified as a fumble. Rosie Taylor was on the spot to grab it and score the Bears' first touchdown of the '67 season. The St. Louis Cardinals came to town and were put in the mill quickly. Number 23, Johnny Rowland, was ready for the pitch out, but he wasn't ready for Doug Buffone. Jack Concannon is a double threat because not only can he throw, but he can run too. A good quarterback refuses to lose his cool under pressure. Concannon hangs onto the ball until the last instant and then flips to Bull out on the flat for the screen. Number 63, Bob Watoska, wipes out number 79, and Ronnie is off and running. Once again, it's Ronnie Bull's key block that sets Gale Sayers free to the Cardinals' 7. Will he run? Will he pass? The only thing for sure is that he'll score. The quarter changes. The onslaught continues. Jack Concannon displays his big league arm with a 50-yard on-the-fly bomb to Dick Gordon. From ground level, we can see that Dick Gordon refused to take his eye off the ball or his defender. Add 6 more. In the midst of the offensive fireworks, the defense was still doing their job to perfection. The Cardinals were victimized by interceptions more times than any other team in the league. This interception by Charlie Brown was one of 7 today for the Bears. Surely the Cardinals were still reeling from Concannon's previous bomb. In a perfect protective cup, Jack spots rookie Bob Jones free at the 10. It's now 20-3 with more to come. Number 29, Ronnie Bull, rattles an on-charging lineman, and Concannon rattles the Cardinals with another bomb to Dick Gordon. From the sidelines, we can focus on Dick Gordon's tremendous concentration. It's obvious he has only one objective. The second half brought more trouble for St. Louis. If it wasn't Buffone up the middle, it was Butkus, Obradovich, Pettibone, and Buffone everywhere. The result of such an onslaught is inevitable. Curtis Gentry ends the Cardinals' offensive woes. Even half on his back, Concannon is able to find rookie tight end Austin Denny. Denny makes a leaping catch to start a new Bear drive. Ronnie Bull exhibits fingertip control and goes further into Cardinal territory. Nifty faking and niftier running by Gale Sayers takes the ball to the 5. Mac Percival boots home the Bears' 30th point of the day. The Cardinals have 3. Number 55, Doug Buffone, blasts through 3 Cardinal protectors and forces Hart into another error. Rosie Taylor makes a seemingly impossible interception as a result. Even veteran Charlie Johnson was stung by the Bears' tenacious secondary. Richie Pettibone ended what was a long afternoon for the Cardinals as the Bears romped 30-3. The world champion Green Bay Packers came to town to play before the largest home crowd of the season. Bart Starr was greeted with a rude reception. Frank Cornish is not head-on-head with the Green Bay center for long. Before Starr has a chance to take a second look, Cornish is on him. Number 50, Mike Pyle makes the key block, and Ronnie Bull gains 8 yards for the Bears. From 43 yards out, Gale Sayers makes the perfect moves over right tackle, and all of a sudden it's a 7-7 tie game. The Bears bomb squad allowed opponents' fewest yards per kickoff return in 1967. Green Bay's great rookie, Travis Williams, got the average on this one, but he paid the price. At the start of the second quarter, the lightning feet of Gale Sayers danced into Packer territory. Mac Percival brought the Bears 3 points closer at the half, 14-10. Early in the second half, the Bears defense, led by Ed O'Bradovich, forced the Packers deep into their own territory. Jack Concannon appreciates the defensive efforts. Now it's his turn to perform. Like he has all day, Concannon went to his ground attack, which pounded out 180 yards rushing against the stingiest defense in football. But when the Bears approached the Packer goal, the Packers stiffened. Mac Percival salvaged 3 points for the Bears, but it wasn't enough. In 2 games with the world champions, the margin of difference was 7 points. Too close to lose so much. With their divisional championship clinched by the Packers, the Bears played the remainder of their schedule on pride. They were not to lose a game. To subdue their next victims, the Bears flew to San Francisco. And remember, 15 out of 16 NFL teams fly the friendly skies of United. From the opening kickoff, it was evident what kind of a day the 49ers were in for. Gale Sayers made it crystal clear to them. Sayers has class even when he walks off a football field. Opponents like him best on the sidelines. Inspired by Sayers' dazzling run, the Bears defense came on strong. A determined pass rush coupled with the alert, hard-hitting play of Chicago's fine secondary made it a long afternoon for San Francisco's quarterback and receivers. Number 87, Ed O'Bradovich, tosses aside his opponent to get at the 49ers' John Brody. From an outside blitz, Brody meets Richie Pettibone and Doug Buffone. Pursued by Butkus and Cornish, rookie Steve Spurrier throws a desperation pass, which is easily picked off by Pettibone. A Concannon to Dick Gordon pass play sets the stage for the second of Sayers' 3 touchdowns. Finding his way blocked to the right, Sayers reverses his field and scoots left and in for 6. Bears 14, 49ers nothing at the half. The third quarter began almost like a rerun of the first. Sayers' kickoff return put the Bears in high gear once again. Frank Cornish took a breather and watched his mates perform. And perform they did. Concannon to Gordon. 6 points. Down 21-7, the 49ers were forced to punt. That wonderful mutter, Gale Sayers, was on the receiving end, and 52 yards later, the game was out of San Francisco's reach. In 1968, Sayers will return along with a more experienced Jack Concannon and depth at every position. The Bears are looking forward eagerly to the 1968 season.